Hey people, welcome to the channel, and in this case we'll try answering one of the hardest questions you can get, which is what's the best Victorinox for EDC? Or variation of the same question, what's the best Victorinox for a prepper? What's the best Victorinox to have in your pocket at all times? Hey, I'm looking to get into all of this prepping stuff. I see Victorinox are good. Which one should I get? And there you go. Oh yeah, that's cute. Yes, it's not as if there's thousands of options out there, all of which are good. So yeah, thanks for the easy to answer question. Hey, we're not gonna scare here. We're not gonna shy away from the challenge. I'll give it my best. So super simple, get yourself a soldier. It is the best one. It will do everything you need and then some, right? Yeah, no kidding. Sure, it's really not a bad idea to go with the Victorinox soldier. If you don't know which Victorinox to get, and you're looking to get something that will do all of the things you would want a pocket knife and a Victorinox Swiss Army knife to do, this is probably it. Why? Well, first of all, it has a fantastic blade. It's a big blade. It's kind of massive for the size of the pocket knife. It locks into place. It opens single-handed, and that's the point in which immediately many people, if you're in Germany for example, okay, no, I can't have that, okay, that sucks. But this would be a very valid option in terms of, yes, with this Victorinox you will do most things that you will need a pocket knife for, and then some, because here you also have, not only do you have a decent sized blade locking into place, opening single-handedly, and you can have like a hook to keep it right from going to the bottom of your pocket. You know, things are sold separately, but yeah, it makes things a little bit more functional. You also have your classic screwdriver. Not only do you have your screwdriver, it locks into place, making it pretty sturdy, but it's also beefy enough that it can be used for prying. Prying is one of these underappreciated functions that we all end up using our knives for here and there, or your multi-tools for more often, but don't underestimate how useful a solid, thick, flat screwdriver that is intended to be used for prying, for light prying tasks, can be. It also has a wire stripper, the bottle opener. Can't remember last time I needed to use one of these bottle openers, but hey, there it is. Then you have the can opener. Again, most these days have like a lid of some sort that you can just peel off, but there it is. You have the can opener, and you have a small flat screwdriver. This actually ends up being fairly used with some frequency. The small screwdriver and the large screwdriver, of course. One of the things you can use this for also is for any scratchy, pokey, cutty tasks in which you don't need a proper blade. Maybe opening packages, opening some of these blisters. Packaging, if you hook that part there, you can kind of get a decent cut going, and it has been used by myself successfully in a number of these things. So the sharper can opener aspect can be applied to other uses. But then of course you have one of the big advantages, which is a giant saw. You have a pretty big saw. This is a very decently sized saw. This is why you have it in the soldier model, which this is the soldier model from Victorinox. There's different variations for the Swiss Army, for the German Army, but basically this is the soldier Victorinox knife. And man, does it work. This saw will cut. It will cut anything that is about this size. So yeah, like a wrist size and maybe even more size branch. You can cut it very easily with this. It is super efficient when cutting. Then you have your Phillips screwdriver, and you have your all important and often necessary punch or awl for a number of woodworking things, or drilling through plastic, or anything you need to make a hole on. This will do very well, very nicely. I wish it had the hole for sewing, which sometimes can be interesting to have. I mean, it's not as if you're going to be doing much leather working, so I guess that's why they didn't include it and went for more rigidity and strength and not having that hole. I suppose that's why they went this way. But this is an extremely solid way to go. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have a very good blade that actually has a size that can be opened single-handed and locks into place, right? Now, if this is not an option, or you can't have something that locks, immediately you go back to the, what is this model? The Tinker, anyway, one of these models, classic-y Victorinox knife. How can you go wrong with this? Well, you really can't. So this would be the second model that I would recommend. Let me know in the comments, hiker or Tinker is. I think this is a hiker model. Yeah, pretty sure this is a hiker model. Oh man, Tinker. Anyway, one of those two. It's gonna be similar. One has the corkscrew. The other one has the, yeah, I think this is the Tinker model because of the Phillips. So the Phillips is more useful than your corkscrew. Some people like the corkscrew for, you know, pulling apart knots and whatnot. So it has a bunch of uses. I prefer the Phillips, the screwdriver. You know, every once in a while it comes in handy. Then you have the punch or awl. This one does have the hole there, which makes it adequate for sewing and, you know, maybe patching up either leather or some backpack strap or anything that's thick fabric. You can sew somewhat okay with this. If you have even just a little bit of a floss, right? With floss, this works very nicely. And yeah, it allows you to make some quick repairs, which I like. I think you should have it there. I mean, I get it. You know, they didn't want to have maybe something a little bit more fragile, but come on, for the size of that hole, I would rather have the added functionality. Tweezers, toothpick, these are always nice to have. Mostly you have a decent sized blade, but it will not lock, does not lock into place. Oh, I've used this all my life and never had a problem. So did I, man. So did I. But knowing what I know and understanding how we are all different, I would rather have a locking blade. The locking blade is simply safer. The locking blade is more useful, and the locking blade, especially in a larger, it can be used for defense. It is one of those things that if it comes down to it, you need to defend yourself. This is an added functionality that you have here, which, no, you're not going to use this for defense. I mean, you can, right? It is a sharp piece of metal, but man, would I not like to get stuck with this for defending myself. Everything else, you know, cutting, and yeah, it will do all of that fine. Preparing sandwiches, you know, even spreading a little bit of butter on some bread, and a ton of so many things you use your pocket knife for. How could you go wrong? You can't. You're not gonna go wrong with a hiker Tinker model. Similar in terms of the flat screwdriver can opener. This one is a little bit less sturdy, so it's not as beefy as the one you get in the soldier model, which is definitely sturdier and intended to be used as a prying tool. So you see the size difference here. You see the amount of metal that one has and the other one has. So yeah, not intended to be a prying tool, but a little bit of prying I would not be all that worried about. I've used this for prying, well, not this one specifically, but you know, similar models. I've used them many times, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, not gonna lock into place, but as functional as it gets in terms of what this can do. And then you have a saw. And it's not gonna be as big as this one, but it's still gonna be a decent sized saw that will do a number of things, including cutting, yeah, some respectable branches. Yeah, it's not gonna be as big as this one, but especially when it comes to maybe woodworking a little bit, or fixing some, you know, sticky drawer or something that you just need to cut a piece of wood, and you need to cut wood, but also do it in a neat, you know, precise fashion. This will do it. This will do it very well. This is a very nice saw for this size. It is thin, it is very aggressive when it cuts, and it's gonna do a very nice job in cutting whatever you need to cut. Maybe that is a little bit more woods outdoorsy sort of suited, and this definitely is, right? This is a quintessential, you know, scout backpacking Victorinox, if there ever was one. But yeah, this I feel is better. Now, my limitations are because of the locking blade, because of the size, because I don't want to have something this big. Okay, go with something like that. You're still dealing with some of the best Victorinox knives ever made. And then finally getting into the tiny ones, the keychain size. And here is where you have a bunch of tools, which they are there. Yeah, you will have them. But you need to take this with a little bit more care. You're not going to do any more aggressive cutting and forcing and whatnot. You will have tiny options. You will have a tiny blade that, as long as you're careful, right, as tiny as it is, it will cut. I've used these for many, many years, and as long as you're careful, you're going to be opening little boxes, cutting tape, cutting a little bit of paper, cutting a little bit of cord here and there. It is a thin blade, so you can't really abuse it. You can't start messing around with any kind of leverage or anything like that. You will snap the thing. Maybe one of the best tools ever designed, with this magnetic Phillips screwdriver that works even better and more often than the larger ones. So this is super useful. You use this all the time. You will use this all the time. If you have this in your keychain, you will find yourself disassembling toys and changing batteries and using this very often. A cap lifter, I don't know. Wire stripper, yeah, okay. Sure, if you're going to do any electricity work, you probably want a bit of a bigger tool. But if you have to be careful and peel a little bit of wire and then strip it away with that tool, you can do it with this tiny mini champ Victorinox, right? This is the Alux version, but mini champ it is. Scissors, some people love scissors. I like having them. I'm not crazy about scissors, but I understand how useful it can be, especially for neat, precise cutting. All right, fantastic, super complete. On the other side, as you see, you have so many tools in these things. Cleaning nails. This actually also works as a very decent flat Phillips screwdriver. For anything that is bigger than what this one allows you to get into, this one actually does a decent job as a flat Phillips screwdriver or pokey kind of tool in general. And a little bit of a nail file situation here going on. I don't use it as that, but there it is. What else do we have here? Well, we have an emergency blade for some more precise cutting. I like this because since these are tiny and they're likely to break, I appreciate having the scalpel here. Who knows? Maybe you just need that, and well, there it is. Maybe one of the more misunderstood tools ever, the orange peeler. Who the hell peels an orange with this thing? I don't even want to know what kind of creep does that. But there it is. I have used this as a rammer for drilling holes in wood. It kind of works okay. You sort of have that hook, so for opening blisters at times, it actually does okay. So those are the things I see myself using this tool for. I have seen some people customize these and make it into an owl of some sort, just removing that and making a tip, and yeah, I guess you could do that. As it is, it could also do somewhat of that. So leave it as it is and find whatever function you may end up finding for it. For drilling on plastic and that stuff, maybe for wood is a little bit of a stretch, but for softer wood or even plastic, yeah, it will do okay. It will do nice enough. The cuticle pusher. Who the hell uses this thing as a cuticle pusher? I certainly don't. For small amounts of salt or preparing poison for ants or whatnot, I use this sometimes as a little spoon, like a little scoopy thing here, and often using it as a large flat screwdriver. If it's large enough, yeah, sometimes this actually works for that. And that's kind of it. I don't have a ton more uses for that. And one more last tool, which is a tiny flat screwdriver with a tiny ruler. Every once in a while comes in handy. So guys, that's the Alux Mini Champ. You have a variety of Mini Champs available. Some have a pen, which is one of the ones that I have in one of my keychains. Some of these have a flashlight. You just press on the shield, and that could be something you may go for if you want to have that flashlight utility. And the Alex one is also very nice. It's lightweight, it's pretty thin, compact, and it's just packed full of different features and tools. It's super tiny, fits under your thumb literally. You can just hide it like that, which is pretty impressive for all of the things it can do. But yeah, these would be the best Victorinox pocket knife, multi-tools, depending on your needs. If you need something that is very discreet and compact, if you have more of a jean pocket situation going on, or if you want to go full blown, yeah, give me what's more capable. I have done reviews of other tools, and maybe the favorite one of mine in this form factor is a locksmith, now discontinued, so yeah, just keep that in mind. If you find it, it's great, likely very difficult to come across. Same for the Manager. Manager is like a compact version of the Mini Champ, also discontinued unfortunately, so yeah. I'll leave links for all of these things below, guys. I'll leave links for my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse and Street Survival Skills, which I recommend you definitely get because I do cover a lot of EDC, self-defense, and stuff like that, as well as links for the multi-tools available in Amazon. See you on the next one, guys. Take care.